Hi, my name is Jon Ferguson, and I'm with Community Christian Church in Chicago, as well as New Thing. And I want to talk to you a little bit about some coaching questions that I hope you'll find helpful in your work with leaders and staff. You're probably familiar with the play. Duke is playing the University of Kentucky. It's the 1992 East Regional Finals at the NCAA tournament. And Kentucky's up by 1 point. Duke has the ball. Grant Hill throws the ball 3/4 the length of the court to Christian Laettner. Laettner takes a dribble, turns to his right, and nails the shot, and Duke wins the game. Probably the most well-known play in the history of college basketball. We remember that, but what we forget is what happened right before that play, when Coach K calls a timeout, draws up the play, and tells each one of his players what they need to do in order to make that play happen and for them to win the game. And Coach K said this about that huddle. He said, "I had to get them all singing out of the same hymnal." And he said, "I had less than 2 minutes to do it." Well, as pastors and leaders, we're constantly coaching others, coaching other staff people, coaching other leaders. Just this week, I've had the opportunity to be on the phone with a church planter, coaching him. I've also coached some of our staff people that I work with here. I've also had the opportunity to sit down with small group leaders in a coaching environment as well. I find that that's a part of what I do almost every day, some sort of a coaching session, whether it's one-on-one or in a group. It was several years ago that Carl George came to visit Community, and we've been big heroes of Carl George for a long time. And we read Prepare Your Church for the Future, The Coming Church Revolution. He's been a super help to Community and a great friend of ours. And so he was going to come and talk to our staff and some of our leaders of leaders, actually our coaches. And we were pretty excited about it, figured that he was going to infuse us with some new ideas and new vision about what it meant to effectively coach and develop that volunteer layer of coaches that we so desperately need in order to care for the growing number of leaders that God was sending us. I'll never forget that night when Carl showed up. He gathered with our leaders. He pulled out a Sharpie, and on a whiteboard, he wrote down 6 questions. And then he broke us up and told us to go into pairs, and he said, "Here's what I want you to do. I want one person to ask the other person these 6 questions. Then after you've done that, I want you to reverse it and have the other person ask the first person those same 6 questions." We did that, and I got to tell you, at first I was disappointed. But what happened that night became a real aha moment for me, because I realized that Carl was giving us a tool that would literally change the way I coached and worked with staff and leaders, probably for the rest of my ministry. All right, so here are the 6 questions that Carl gave us. We call them the 6 coaching questions. And if you don't have a pen, go grab one real quick or a piece of paper. You need to write these down. This will serve as an agenda for you for any meeting that you're going to. You'll all probably have meetings even this afternoon, maybe a one-on-one. You can use these 6 questions as an agenda. I do almost every day. The first question is this, and it's how are you? I like to begin any meeting that I'm with somebody in with a simple kind of opportunity to catch up, find out how they're doing, how's their family, how's work, what's going well, what's not going well. It's cliche, but it's true. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I want to make sure that that relationship that I have with whoever I'm working with is a relationship, and they know that I care about them, and it's a friendship. So I begin with that first question, simple question, just kind of catching up, and I'll ask them, "Hey, how you doing? How are things going for you right now?" All right, so that's the first one. Second question then is this: what are you celebrating? Almost every meeting here at Community, whether it's a team meeting, a staff meeting, or a one-on-one, we begin with this question: what are you celebrating? Sometimes we'll phrase it this way. We'll say, "Hey, where are you winning?" And it's a great opportunity to hear where this person's or these people see God at work in their life and ministry. What are some victories they're experiencing? What are some ways that they can kind of brag on themselves? From time to time, I'll be in a coaching session with somebody, and it's pretty clear to me that they know the areas where they're struggling. And so by beginning on the relational side, by asking them, "Hey, how are you?" and then, "What are you celebrating?" it keeps things on an upbeat, positive note, and they immediately are more comfortable with me in that session. All right, so how are you? What are you celebrating? Then I go to what challenges are you experiencing? Like I said, most people are keenly aware of the difficulties and maybe where they're not quite cutting it. And this gives them an opportunity to talk to me about the places where they are experiencing challenges. And I'm not trying to problem solve. As a matter of fact, the best thing I can do is help them solve their own challenges. But I got to get that on the table and ask them, okay, what challenges are you currently experiencing in your life and ministry? That leads to the next question, which is this one, number 4. What do you plan to do about those challenges? All right, I'm not immediately trying to fix the problem or solve the challenges for themselves. No, I'm asking them, what are they going to do? Because the best thing I can do is help them figure out how to solve their own problems so that in the future, when I'm not around, they can go about addressing those challenges on their own without me. All right, so that's the fourth one. Fifth question then in these coaching questions is, how can I help you? All right, finally, after I've identified the challenges, we've talked about how they can help solve those problems, those issues, then I move into ask them, okay, what can I do to help? How can I be of assistance to you? What are some ways we can work through this challenge together? How can I help you? And then finally, the last question I always like to ask is, how can I pray for you? And usually if it's a one-on-one coaching session in particular, I would also offer some prayer requests to that person. I want to make sure they understand this is a mutual relationship. All right, I benefit from working with you, hopefully just as much as you benefit from working with me. So I ask, how can I pray for you? All right, so how are you? All right, what are you celebrating? What challenges are you experiencing? How are you going to go after those challenges? How can I help you? And how can I pray for you? It's a great agenda to use for almost any coaching session. We found these to be extremely helpful. If you'd like more information about tools like this and other ideas, Dave, my brother, and I just finished a book titled Exponential, How You and Your Friends Can Start a Missional Church Movement. It's going to be available soon, and I'd love for you to pick it up. Hi, my name is Jon Ferguson, and I'm with Community Christian Church in Chicago.